So here's what I learned during the commercial break. It's still me. Michael over there, the man that sits in the dark and handles himself, he comes over to me and he says, we got 4 minutes left for the interview with Anne Rice. I'm like, you out of your mind? It's Anne Rice. You out of your mind? So what I said was this: look, why don't we do a big, long interview with Anne Rice and record it in some way and then do a full show with Anne Rice another time? And he's like, I don't know if we have the capability of doing that. And I'm like, yes, we do. We have a DVR, so that's what we're going to do. So in the meantime, luckily, he says to me, now, how are we going to fill 4 minutes? And I'm like, I don't know. We're going to need some material. And he said, well, we don't have any material. And I'm like, we don't have any material any other part of the show either. And we do just fine with it. And he said, there's a comedian waiting backstage. I went, that is weird. Are you sure, or is this someone that we recorded earlier in case something like this ever happened? And he said, maybe. So, here now, live in the studio, a very funny comedian from he's at the Moon Tower Comedy Fest, Austin, Texas, April 25th through the 28th, which is a bit of a way off. I think he was hoping for a date a little closer. But I promise you, we'll mention it again closer to the date. Please welcome Ramin Nazer, everybody. Ramin Nazer.
Thank you. Stop the things. Awesome. Thank you for watching me do comedy, everyone. You guys, I want to make commercials with no call to action. You know, commercials that bring up a problem but offer no solution. Like, injured on the job, can't work because of it, sucks, bro. I was filling out a job application online on the internet, and the last question was, why do you want to work here? I was like, yeah, you're right. Perma-close. I was filling out a job application to P.F. Chang's. It only had one question. Are you not Chinese? P.F. Chang should be called P.F. Chads. I bet originally it was just called Chang's, and some guy walked in and was like, Chang's? This isn't Chang's. I'm gonna go complain to my waiter, Tyler. There's all kinds of jobs, though. Oh, sure. I used to work at Goodwill. The first day of the job, the supervisor boss guy came up to me and was like, I want you to go around, pick up everything that looks like trash and put it in this bag. It's like, all right, I'm gonna need 10,000 more bags. Goodwill is the only place I've ever worked where anytime a customer came to ask me something, my reply began with the word unfortunately. Do you have plus-size women's slacks? Unfortunately, yes. They're over in that region, Tron. There's this girl that lives on my street, and I'm like a god to her, because I'm always watching her. And she's never seen me. There's this girl I liked a lot in high school, and I made her a mixtape, and I handed it to her, and I said, here, listen to this. Then you'll know how these artists feel about other people. How come there are no songs about real love, songs about compromise? You got to do everything she wants, even though her wants are inconsistent. My favorite superhero is Wolverine. Wolverine had the claws, but he also had the healing factor, so any bullet or scratch that came his way, it'll instantly heal up. But did Wolverine also have an emotional healing factor? Did Wolverine ever walk in on his girlfriend cheating on her and be like, no, over it? I think that might have taken place in some reality. I think the worst place you can be if there's a small asteroid headed towards you is at a 3D movie. It's the only place where you can be seconds away from death and just be like, cool. I like to go to Denny's dressed up as a dyslexic monster and say, I'm here for the eat kids for free. Sir, that's kids eat for free? Oh yeah, you gotta fatten them up. Sir, I can tell you're not a dyslexic monster. You're obviously some guy in a Shrek costume. Are you guys hiring? Yeah, there's a position open for assistant manager if you're interested. Do I have to change? No, you're fine. Is there an ending to the skit? There's no ending to the skit. Just do your 5-hour energy joke and get off the TV. You guys, 5-hour energy should also be called 15-minute weird taste. Good night, everyone. Thank you for watching me do comedy.